I was going to censor this video, but then I asked myself, why the fuck will I do that? Besides, this video isn't about what not to say to your mom, your dad, or your school teacher. Some actually deserve it. It's about how not to give a fucking fuck. Or better yet, how not to give a double fuck about whatever people think or say about you. We live in a world where everyone is a photocopy of someone else. You do stuff to impress people and not because you feel it's the right thing to do or that's what makes you happy. Even though you like purple clothes, you don't want to wear it because society thinks purple is for girls and your friends might laugh at you. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to never give a fuck about what someone thinks about you and live your life as it pleases you. Rule number 1. Remember the title of this video, How Not to Give a Fuck? Well, it turns out nobody actually gives a fuck as well. If you're doing something cool, people might stop for a minute and say, wow, that's cool, oh, that's cool. And that lasts for about 30 seconds and they go back minding their own business. On the other hand, if you're doing something weird or strange, they might stop and say, oh, that guy's weird, oh, what a weirdo, look at what he's doing, oh, that's weird. And that also lasts for about a few seconds and they go back minding their own business again. Like nothing ever happened. So why the fucking fuck would you spend your day thinking about what someone else said about you? Let me give you a typical example, right? A few days ago, my friend told me Usain Bolt lost the title disgracefully. We talked about it, discussed it, analyzed it. In fact, we wasted about 30 minutes of our lives talking and discussing the fucking news. Then we both hung up and that was it. It's dead news. He doesn't give a fuck anymore and neither do I. Rule number 2. Don't try to understand people. You might have asked yourself this question before. I've been a nice guy to him, so why did he treat me this way? My presentation was good, so how come he didn't like it? Asking such questions is like asking, who created God? I mean, there is no answer to that. We just accept the fact that there is a God, and that's it. No further questions. You see, people do what they do because that's what they do. You should never worry your head ever again over an asshole. You have no idea what goes on inside them. A jerk's business is to go about jerking. Wait a minute, is that even a word? Well, you don't give a fuck, do you? A heartbreaker's job is to go about breaking hearts. You don't need to understand why. These are some of life questions that you will never find an answer to no matter how hard you try. Subscribe now. Rule number 3. You gotta realize that you have something they need. Psychologically, your confidence increases if you believe and realize you have something someone else doesn't have. Anytime you face the trouble of worrying your head over what someone else thinks or says about you, ask yourself this question. What do I have that he doesn't have? Most of the time, you might come out with nothing, and that's because you don't think hard enough. As humans, we were all created unique. You might not have the money someone else has, but your family loves you, and probably they are struggling with family issues. Now, that's something you should be proud of. Rule number 4. Create your own social media. Social media is a demon that gives you nothing by giving you something. You spend your time comparing how many likes your photos have versus your friends' photos. If many people like and comment on your photos, you feel like, wow, I'm the new messiah. If you have only a few likes, you feel like the whole world is against you. If you are one of those people who takes thousands of pictures and chooses only one out of the lot just to post on Facebook or Instagram, then you really need Jesus. Look, nobody gives a shitty fuck about your pictures. Nobody even looks at Facebook or Instagram pictures these days. In fact, people will like anything covered in shit. The time and effort you wasted into posting only a single picture on social media so people would think you are cool actually yields no results. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should not put some effort into creating good content for social media, but what I'm saying is if you post stuff on social media just because you want to be cool than the other guy and not because you just want to do it, then you really need Jesus. So remember, rule number 1, nobody actually gives a fuck. But if they do, it only lasts for a few seconds and they go back minding their business. Number 2, don't try to understand people. People do what they do and that's because that's what they do. That's the best explanation I can give you. Number 3, you gotta realize you have something someone else needs and use it as a motivation, not to give a fuck what someone else thinks or says about you. Number 4, on social media, create your own world and live in it. Don't live in the world of others because they don't give a fuck about you. So why the fuck should you give a fuck about what they think? It's been nice sharing this piece with you guys. If you enjoyed it, please like and share this on social media. Do you know sharing is caring? Oh, and I almost forgot. This is the part where I tell you to press the subscribe button and you got to do that. Seriously, you got to subscribe because if you don't, I'm gonna find you and I'll make you subscribe. But seriously, you gotta subscribe. It's been your boy Smash and Flake. Catch you in the next one. Peace.